Alright, hi there. I'm Dr. Kevin.
Hello, I'm Michael. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Michael. What brings you in today?
Well, I seem to be having a lot of issues lately with my parents.
Mm-hmm. Well, what could you tell me about them?
Well, my parents are very interesting people. They're both from a military background. That's where they met, actually, in Germany.
Really?
They both came from very, very poverty-stricken families. My dad had some history of abuse in his family and whatnot. My mom was the youngest of 8, so she was always, the spoiled little child, but not having a lot of money, was mostly spoiled with affection.
Mm-hmm.
And she was used to always getting her way, which still seems to be an issue with us, because when I try to talk to her and, find a little give and take, it's mostly a lot of take and not a lot of give from her.
Now, why would you think that? Can you give me an example?
Actually, yes, I can. I recently started doing a lot of art projects lately, and my parents don't really understand the whole art scene, and they don't understand about self-expression and that kind of thing. They're very set in their ways, very conservative. And I will try to show them some of my work, and they either kind of overlook it completely, or they just don't really want to see it. They don't really have any comments about it. There's a whole side of me that I feel like they just don't see, and no matter how many times I've tried, it just doesn't.
In what ways have you tried to show them?
Well, I've tried talking to them about a lot of different things, like a lot of stuff that I want to do, and I've tried showing them some of the work I've done, and it just seems like it always falls on just like deaf ears and just no reaction.
You feel that they're listening, but they're not comprehending.
Yeah, they can hear me, but they're just not listening to me.
Well, tell me about your father.
I don't really know a lot about my father. He doesn't talk about his past a lot, and a lot of when I was younger, he was off working and stuff, trying to support us, because, we never really had a lot of money or anything like that, so he was always just, trying to get by, so he was always working, and it was just mostly my mother, myself, and then my twin sister.
Okay. Now, is this relationship different with your sister as your parents, or is this similar?
Yes, it's completely different with my sister.
Okay.
It's also completely different with my friends. When it comes to my parents, it mostly stays with my parents.
So there you have a different set of how you're acting with your family, excluding your sister, and with your friends and your sister. Can you talk to me about the relationship with your friends and your sister?
Yeah, they're all, excuse me, they're all very supportive in what I do. They all truly believe in what I'm doing. They think it's good. They find it interesting, they find it thought-provoking, all things which I strive for in my work. And they always seem to think that, I'm going to do great things, My parents also believe I'm going to do great things, but not in the same context as my friends do. I don't act differently around either of them. The same things I do with my friends are the same things I do around my parents, and my parents are very accepting of it all. They just don't understand it. Exactly.
You feel that they see it, they just don't see it the way you do, or you'd like them to see it.
And I'm also just upset because they're always in a rut, and I've recently started taking a lot of philosophy classes, and they teach you about new ways of approaching problems and thinking. And when I try to communicate these things to them, they take it as I'm attacking them and accusing them, instead of just trying to inform them.
What do you do when this happens?
I pretty much just stop talking.
So you
I close up.
You have the tendency to close up.
Yeah.
And how's that affecting your daily life?
Frustration, a lot of frustration. I don't want to go home when I have to go home, which I'm still living with my parents. I should have mentioned that.
Okay.
But I'm
so
moving out.
So there's causing some stress with that too.
It's always just constantly butting heads all the time. No real. In the past, we've had major arguments where I've left the house for a few days and things have gotten bad. But recently, things haven't been too on edge. But there's always that underlying, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Questioning in the back of my mind.
So from your experiences with your family and the arguments and disagreements, and no, it seems like you're just trying to help, but the cause of them rejecting your help is causing you a great deal of anxiety.
Yes.
And at least some stress, more or less.
Yeah, but there's more to it than that. My parents also believe, that artistic pursuits are not a good use of time. I should be out there getting, a part-time job and saving money and the typical, you go to work, you go to school, you come home, you go to work,
You don't want to fit their mold. is
I
what
don't want
you're
to fit in
saying.
their mold. That's not my personality. That's not my life. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to fall into a rut. I don't want to become what they've become every day, the same thing in the same order at the same time.
Okay, well, you've explained to me your family and how your friends interact, and I would like to see, or at least to have me describe what kind of art interests you, and where have you been practicing, how's it been going, and it seems to be very positive for you, and it's great that you can keep your mind on something that's constructive rather than, going out and robbing banks or committing hate crimes.
Well, recently what I've really got into is a lot of photography. I've been looking at a lot of Andy Warhol's work, and I've been trying to match that up with my own perspectives on life and other artists around the same time period.
I recommend Andy Warhol. There's a lot of good followers and people that have been inspired by him, and I can see him as a good role model for you for looking for photography and some abstract art.
Mhm. I'd like to move away more from photography. I feel like I've been doing that long,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to move into film, just avant-garde, underground types of film, and also I want to try to my hand at painting a little bit. Even though that's never really been my strong point, I feel like with practice,
You'd like to
diligence.
overcome your weakness in your artistic fields by overcoming. You feel. I think that you should actually go out and encourage on. And before I see you next week, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to spend a good couple hours during the week trying to paint something. I don't care if it's some fruit or a person or maybe a picture you saw on the internet. I mean, try and paint, and then I want you to be able to come back to me and say how you express your feelings and how it worked and I'd also like to see them because I've actually got a PhD in art history and I've been a follower of a lot of kind of more like Vonnegut and other artists like that.
All right. Well, that sounds good. I
Alrighty,
will do that.
we will see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Thank you, you too.